Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Reality, spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. Spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Reality, spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Spirituality. Oh, now we get real. Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get down. Yeah, you gonna feel good now. Real good. That's what I'm talking about. Time to get real.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. I'm your host, Rebecca Lynn Norrington. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your emails. Thank you for following. Thank you for your questions. Now, this show is going to be on fire, and let me tell you why. This show is about what is the truth? Why are you feeling bad? Why do you feel bad? Why in any circumstance or in any moment you're bothered, you're irritated, you're sad, you're angry? Why is that? Isn't that a great question to ask? Isn't that a great question to ask? And before I go on, just for my new people, my new followers, new listeners, I want to just give you a little bit. It's going to be short. You know, I don't do a lot of selling here. It's going to be short. It's a lot of content. I've been since very early teens. I remember wanting two things in my life. I wanted to, number one, live to my potential, whatever that was. I always asked, when you blow out the candles in the birthday cake, 2 wishes, live to my potential, and the second wish was to be happy. And I'm telling you, I took this wanting to be happy very seriously. I committed to it, even though I didn't even know it. But like everything else, I was programmed to think this happiness was outside of me. This happiness was something I had to achieve. This happiness was something I had to do something to get it. I had to accomplish something to be happy. I had to have the right job. I had to have the right money. Let me ask you this question really quick. To be successful, what does that mean, that definition of success? What does that mean to you? What is your definition of success? Well, my definition of success is being able to be on my deathbed. That's right, you heard me, happiness specialist, talking about dying. On my deathbed with a smile. That means having no regrets. And it's not about having regrets of, I could have been more productive. No, the regrets are about knowing the truth about this life, knowing the truth about this journey, and deciding to do something different and to go against all of the universal laws. It's really, once you know the truth, it's up to you to make the decision. It's up to you to make a choice in every single moment. My favorite quote is, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. And it really is about the day-to-day journey. Every single moment, from the mundane to the exciting to back to the mundane, because life is up and down and up and down. So what I teach and what I like to share is how to have a vibration, have an energy of peace, of contentment, of, listen to this one, of satisfaction. How do you vibrate feeling satisfied? How do you vibrate feeling at ease, relaxed, peaceful? Those are all that falls under being happy. So this happiness is not that something happens and now I feel good. No, this happiness is rooted in who I am. This happiness is what I practice every single day. And I'm going to tell you, people, let me tell you something. And since I'm claiming to be the world's only happiness specialist. The universe just hits me with I can say it, with stuff all the, I'll say shit, with shit all the time. And it only am I hit with this stuff only because I get to practice. I get to practice what I've learned. I get to practice so I can get to a point where it's just like learning to drive a car. I don't know how many people out there have learned to drive a stick shift. You can't just get in a car and drive a stick shift. It takes practice. I remember 1966 VW Volkswagen. I learned on a stick shift on hills, and now I could drive a stick without anything. And so that's really what I'm talking about. It's what do you practice? What do you practice on a daily basis? And there are certain things that will subtract from your happiness, certain everyday things, behaviors, reactions that subtract from happiness, and there are things to practice that will add to happiness. And so it's, you heard going on a diet, it's a lifestyle. So this is a lifestyle. So today's show, and feel free for people who are listening, want to call in and ask me anything about happiness, whatever's going on in your life. The call-in number is area code 646-564-9619. And if you want to speak with me, just press the number 1. If you have a question, just press the number 1. Or if you want to listen, that's fine too. Because listen, I can go off forever about this topic. So this week is really about the ego. And it's about programming. And it's about what voice are you listening to? And let me just give you a little bit of the ego's bio. How about that? The ego has a bio. The ego has a resume. The ego, and it's the same. I say the ego is the same as the mind. You know that voice, the mind, the ego, same thing. Biggest characteristic, the only characteristic of the ego is, you ready for this? You ready? The ego is not okay. The ego is bothered. The ego is anti what is. Let me repeat that. The ego or your mind is anti what is. In other words, and let me see if you feel this. Something else should be happening. Something shouldn't be happening. Oh, there's something that needs to change. There's something that is just messed up. There's something, what I'm doing now isn't right. What somebody else is doing is not right. The ego is anti what is. In other words, the ego is anti the present moment. And my dear audience, I can't say this enough, but the more you feed the ego and the more you allow the ego to be in charge or front and center, driving your car, your vehicle, your life, the more you allow the ego to be in charge, the more it grows and the more powerful it gets. Let's get all the way back down to when we were all born. I said this last week on the show. I don't know, but it's going to be repeated because it's so powerful. Listen to this. When a baby is born, a baby doesn't care what breast they're sucking on. It could be their mother. It could be the sister. It could be a serial killer. Yeah, they're women serial killers. It could be a serial killer. The baby has not been programmed yet. Okay, you're following me? That means us. We haven't been programmed. We haven't been programmed to, now we have obligations to our parents. Now we have to live, now we have to follow the script. And it goes all the way back to being successful, wanting success. And I was talking to one of my students this week, and her definition of success was, listen to this, if I make $1 million a month, that is successful. She actually broke it down to, $500,000 to $1 million a month is her definition and idea of success. And I told her, I said, it could be $1 million, it could be $5 million. The bottom line is you're seeking something outside of yourself. You're seeking something outside because, listen, the evidence is out there. The Michael Jacksons, I mean, come on, are you kidding me? You saw the reaction after Michael Jackson died. It was global. People were grieving all over the world. This man had everything, quote unquote, everything to be, quote, successful. From Michael Jackson to Robin Williams to Prince to all of these people, to Elvis, to all of these people that are out there with all of this power, money, fame. There's something else that's there's something missing. There's something that's just not there. There's something that they're looking for, something that they're seeking. And that something is a feeling of being at peace with self. Do you think if any of those people felt at peace with themselves, that anything that their ending would have been different? Now, I'm not here to say there's anything wrong with how their lives ended, because everything is in order. But I'm trying to get to the root, and the root of it is there was a sense, there is a vibration of dissatisfaction. This world sells dissatisfaction, sells it. It's all on blast, from every TV show to every movie to any ad. It's all about selling dissatisfaction. But see, we as individuals, we have the power to be satisfied regardless of what life throws at us. It's very tricky because that ego wants, I'm just going to speak for myself, wants me to feel bad all the time about everything that's happening. I'm not doing enough. I'm not right. Listen, I'm working on my second book, Program for Unhappiness. I'm working on it. Those are air quotes. I haven't worked on it in months, but I haven't worked on it because I haven't been inspired to. I'm not going to let my ego make me feel bad about you didn't write today. You didn't write last week. You didn't write. I'm not going to, my ego doesn't have the power to make me feel bad about that anymore. But let me tell you something. This ego is so tricky. It's so tricky, and it will do anything to survive. I see I have a few people in the queue. I'm going to get to you in a minute. Let me just get with this topic. Because the ego, the mind, that endless chatter of negativity is really the cause of why you're feeling bad, why you're feeling sad, why you're feeling at angst, anxiety, whatever it is. And the more you give into it, and the more you allow it to dictate how you feel, the more you will be enslaved, the more you will be in bondage to the ego. And again, remember, the ego's job is to make you feel bad. Now, countering that, how do we counter it? Whew. I've been practicing this forever. And this week, the universe gave me another thing to practice. And I just practiced it today. Yes, earlier today. Please let me share. So, 2 days ago, don't ask me, but I felt like, and I'm usually not into wanting something sweet. I'm more of a salty kind of girl, salty girl. But for some reason, I was craving something sweet, and it was late at night, and I have these hard candies It's caramel on the outside, and it's peanut butter in the middle. Oh, my God, it's so good and so tasty. And it's just a little candy, little hard candy, and I popped 2 of them in my mouth. And I was smacking on that candy, chomp, chomp, smackety, smack, smack. Can you guess what happened? All of a sudden, while I was smacking and chomping, I bit down on something that felt it was a rock. That's right. I broke off a piece of one of my teeth. Broke off. Now, if you know me, you know when I was younger, I've been with the braces. I was the first person to wear a headgear. You know those things that wrap around your neck, that come out of your mouth and wrap around your neck? Oh, I was sporting that at 9 years old, 10 years old. It was traumatizing, to say the least. So, needless to say, I'm very, the teeth, the cleaning of the teeth, I'm very diligent. The teeth is really important to me, and I'm using another air quotes, important. And I've never, ever had a tooth crack and break off in my mouth. And, you know, if you've listened, you know I'm in a different town, a new town. I don't have a dentist. I don't have a doctor. I have nothing. So the tooth cracked. Now, if it wasn't for what I practice, I'm telling you right now, instead of, oh, my God, the tooth, I have the tooth. I started feeling grateful and thankful for what really what didn't happen. And that was, because I tested it, drank some water. There's no hot and cold sensation, you know, that you kind of feel, ooh, too hot, too cold, and your teeth get frozen. No, there are no nerves exposed. So basically, I just have a jagged wolf tooth, and it's a molar. It's in the back, so it's not visible. So those are 3 things that I can be thankful for and be grateful for having a broken tooth, okay? Oh, 4 things, and I can still eat on it because I had a couple of sandwiches yesterday. I can still eat on it. So there you go, in a nutshell. But let me tell you what happened. I actually got a phone call from my soulmate this morning. And I was telling him that when I say soulmate, you know, people don't really understand that term, but what that term means is somebody else on this planet that really that would do anything or that accepts me and backs my growth. That's it. Somebody that wants me to grow regardless of whether they're in my life or not. Okay, that's how deep and committed. Anyway, back to the tooth. So we've known each other, 20 years? At least 20 years. And one of the things that he always tells me, he says, you have such great teeth, your teeth, always with the teeth. Because, you know, he likes teeth. And when I told him that I chipped my tooth, he went into this, no, not your tooth, not your mouth. I mean, on and on with, oh, what a tragedy this was. Now, my ego wanted to respond, and I'm telling you, I thought it. The ego, my mind was active, and it said, you're not helping me. This is in my head. You're not helping me with this comment. You know, this is a program comment about, why you and your teeth are so perfect, and why did this happen to you? This doesn't feel good, and on and on. And then he repeated it. If you know me, you know I do not like repeating. He repeated it at least 6 times about what a tragedy this was. But for the first time in my life, I made my ego wait to respond. I made my ego sit and wait. I was thinking all of the things, but it never left my mouth. It never left. It never got out of my mouth. I never said, you're not helping me. I never criticized or, came back, because I really wanted to say, listen, I'm the one with the chipped tooth. What is this? What are you feeling bad for? I'm the one with the chipped tooth. I'm trying to feel good about this crap. What are you piling on trying to make? I don't know. He wasn't trying to make me feel bad, but what is this? Now you feel bad about my tooth? How does that help me? Audience, I'm telling you, I put a chokehold on that ego, and I kept my lips closed. The secret to weakening your ego, the secret to less power of the ego is this. You make that mother blanker wait. You make that ego wait until you're vibrating in a different vibration, that angst, that reactive, react, you wait until you can sit back, lean back, and feel a lightness, almost laughable. Because if you sit back and you don't respond, this is a practice again. This is anything that you are going to master. Trust me, with all the things I practice, I'm barely mastering this right now. And I'm talking about decades of practice. But you make that ego wait, and what you're really doing is you are starving it, and you're weakening it at the knees. Because again, the whole purpose, the whole plan is what? Your peace, your contentment, your vibration, your balance, your relaxation, your feeling good, your feeling, I think Abraham says, you feel like you're on a high-flying disc. There's a high vibration, that's totally different than the lower ones. Making it wait will weaken your ego. And why do we want to weaken the ego? Because we don't want the ego in charge. And we don't want the ego in charge. We don't want the mind in charge, because its job is to make us feel bad about everything. What I'm not doing, what my life doesn't look like, what I want my life to look like. See, that vibration, that when my student said, I want to make $1 million, it's really not, because when the $1 million come every month, it could be $5 million. But if you're still vibrating that vibration of dissatisfaction, it doesn't matter how much money you're going to be making. It doesn't matter how much weight you lose. It doesn't matter what relationship you're in. If you're dissatisfied in this moment, you're going to be dissatisfied in your next moment. And it really is about being satisfied in the present moment. And you take your present moment into all of your future moments. So the vision board, the wanting, the wishing, the praying for what? How do I vibrate satisfaction, universe? How do I get to another level of consciousness, universe? How do I feel at peace through life's challenges, universe? Those are the questions. Those are the things that I ask for. How do I remain balanced? How am I an example of the universe in a human body? See, those are the questions. Those are the questions that I ask. That's what I want. Yeah, come on, $1 million? Yeah, that would be nice, but what? Would I rather? And it's not about having $1 million and then not having the other. But really, this life is about feeling that internal sense, that same feeling when you came out, is pure consciousness as a baby. You didn't come out judging. You didn't come out comparing. You didn't come out having expectations. You didn't come out with all of this, well, this is the definite. You didn't come out like that. When you really understand that it's the programming that $1 million is going to make me feel good. Are you following what I'm saying here? Pay attention to your thoughts and challenge the ego. Make that motherfucker wait. If you're sad, make the. You know, I might feel a little bit ego, but I'm going to wait for a while. I'm going to wait until I let you take over. I'm just going to pause for a second. Ego. I'm not going to allow you to take over. And you know when the ego is taking over is when you react with anger. You react with anything other than peace or surrender. If you're doing anything other than that, you know who's in charge. So I have these last two things, and I'm going to go to the phones. But I want to share with you one of the students, and I was telling her that your ego, those are statements of success, and your ego is the one that is really driving your ship. The ego is the one that's driving your car. That is the person, is the captain. And she actually asked me, well, how do I make the ego wait? And I said, well, tell me something, because she was talking about having a temper and her temper is getting the best of her. And I said, give me an example. So she was sharing that, you know, her mother is very, you know, we all, listen, some of us have mothers. I have a mother that does the same thing, that says, you know, make sure be careful, you know, all of those precautionary statements. And there was a time when I got older, I'm like, you know, I'm not a baby. I'm not a child. You don't have to talk to me like I'm a child. I'm grown up. You know what I'm talking about, that vibe. So I said, well, this is your practice. This is your homework assignment. The next time your mother says, because she was telling me that, you know, when it gets cold, her mother is always saying, don't forget to put on a jacket. And this woman is in her 40s, right? Come on now, you know what I'm talking about. So she says, so I said, I said, the next time your mother says, and it annoys the hell out of her, I said, the next time your mother suggests put on a jacket when it's cold, I said, well, what would you do to make the ego wait to respond? Because she always responds with, I don't need your advice. I'm 40-something years old. Don't talk to me like a child. I mean, I've heard this not only from her, but, I mean, I've experienced it. My father used to say the same thing to my mother when she would give him suggestions, and he was damn near 70. But anywho, so my suggestion was the next time your mother says put on a coat, instead of responding with, and it's a practice, like anything else, LeBron didn't get to be the best basketball player in the world without practice. Neither did Michael Jordan. Neither did Tom Brady. All of these people, neither did the greatest surgeon or the greatest performer. What's up, Beyonce, Prince? They practice. So this, what I'm talking about is really a practice. So I said, why don't the next time she says it, put on a jacket, it's getting cold, you practice saying, okay, thank you, and just like that, not begrudgingly, not, but practice, okay, thank you. See, what you're doing is you're cutting the ego down at the knees. You're actually saying, not this time, ego. I'm not going to let you, make me react instantly because I'm taking this, what somebody says personally, or a slight or criticism. No, ego, you don't win. And then her ego came back. Listen to this one. Her ego came back to me with this comment. Because it wasn't who she was, it was her ego that came back to me with Well, that's dishonest. That's being really dishonest. You know, okay, thank you. Listen, people, if it's between feeling peaceful, having a peaceful vibration, feeling balanced, I am going to be, as man says, dishonest, because I will say anything to keep the peace, including, because I don't think it's dishonest, I think it's just surrendering. I can surrender in a minute. I'm not going to fight anymore. I used to fight I'd fight all the time. I don't fight anymore. I used to, my weapon was a hammer, now it's a feather. I don't fight. I refuse to fight. Well, the ego sometimes gets out and tries to start a little tussle. But I rope it right back in, because the ego is not about bringing me any peace. Ever. Never. And you know it. The second suggestion, and I'm going to get to the phone calls after this, she was saying that she was in the car with someone, and they, argued about what route to take home. So she was driving, and the other person was saying this is a quicker route, and then she says, no, I know how to get home. This is my area, and he says, well, Google says this is a quicker route, and they were arguing about which route to take home. I mean, this is real life, people. This is real life that we talk about. And she made the comment about that they're both competitive. Well, that's another programming, because in reality, they're both trying to control. The ego will try to control. The ego is always right. The ego, the mind is always the one being slighted or getting their feelings hurt, right? You hurt my feelings. It's impossible, because you're responsible for it, and you're responsible for your feelings. And so she was saying that they were arguing and going back and forth, and she, was mad. Listen, I've been mad when I was driving. I've been mad. I know how that feels to be behind the wheel and you're angry. The driving isn't really the safest, is it, audience? Is it? So she was driving like that. And I said, your second assignment, because she didn't like the first assignment, I said, your second assignment is to apologize to that person. You're controlling. I'm working on it. My ego was in charge. And so she said immediately, I'm not apologizing. See, that's the ego talking. And the more you give the ego fuel, the ego is going to grow and get stronger and stronger and stronger and really be in charge of your life. Every aspect of your life. And I'm telling you right now, if your ego, if your mind is in charge of every aspect and how you respond to everything, I guarantee you will never, ever, ever feel satisfied. It is a battle with self. It's never a battle with anyone else. It's a battle with self. But it can be won. It can be won. I will, listen, you don't know. I will apologize for anything to keep the peace. I will apologize even though I know the other person may be not correct. I don't care. I am not feeding my ego. I am not feeding my ego ever. Well, sometimes it gets a little chicken feed, a little bird seed, but other than that, because my commitment to wanting peace, my commitment to feeling relaxed, my commitment to being happy, my commitment to this vibration of satisfaction is all front and center. Just remember, you have an entity, ego, mind, that doesn't want you to feel good, that doesn't want you to feel satisfied, that doesn't want you to feel peaceful, that doesn't want you to feel like you're a success, that doesn't like what is. And it's up to each individual to choke that ego out. Starve it. Starve it. No food, no fuel, no water, no nothing. When you know it's coming up, you want to weaken the ego, make that mother effer wait. Practice that this week and see what happens. I'm telling you, after a while, you are going to feel more powerful, more at ease, and more peace, because you're going to be responding the way that real person that was born, that person, that universal person, that consciousness. See, the universe doesn't respond with reacting. The universe responds with consciousness. Let's go to the phones. You're listening to Reality Spirituality. Again, the number to call in is 646-564-9619. Let me go to the phones. Area code 417. What's your first name? Welcome to Reality Spirituality. Thank you for calling.
Hey, good morning.
Hello?
Good afternoon. Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me? Hi.
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. My name is Linda, and I'm calling from Florida. And I'm not really sure what to ask you after all that.
Hi, Linda from Florida.
Hi. So I'm not really sure what to ask you after all that. So.
Listen, don't think that you're not the first person that's ever said that. You're not the first person that's ever said it. Sometimes people listen and they don't have a question.
Well,
what were
I
you
thought I
going to
did,
ask
but then
me?
it's like, well, it's just, I guess, about work, business, or relationship. I was going to pick one of those, but I mean, you kind of hit home on, wanting to do a business, which I'm kind of in the process of doing, and I see my ego at work where I don't really say what I want to, but I kind of hold it back. I may say a word or two and then kind of let it go, because I don't like confrontation with people, because then they start at it, and then it just gets all stupid after that. You get type A personalities, and they just kind of just run with it, and I'm like, oh, it's just not worth the aggravation, So I like doing my own business, and that way I can kind of do my thing, and I stick with positive people, or positive, if I don't want to deal with someone or a customer, then I can say, hey, you know what, I don't really need your service or need your business, kind of thing. So I'm kind of heading that road. So I don't know.
Let me tell you what I feel from you. Is that okay?
Sure, absolutely.
You, and I'm getting chills. I always get chills when I hear the truth or speak it. And you are more powerful than you're ever giving yourself credit. And just by your example of saying that you just don't want it, the knowing is so important. The knowing that the fighting, and knowing that it's not worth it, and knowing that there's a certain type of people or energy, if you will, that is you just get into this spiral of drama. That's a huge knowing. That's huge. Because you look out into the world and people are getting into the drama all the time. So what I'm feeling from you is just this consciousness, all of this consciousness that I would really like you to celebrate. And the other thing, now I'm getting chills again, and the other thing, just by the fact that you said, now I don't even know if I have a question, is because you're so open to listening and hearing messages. Now, I'm not saying I'm up here, wow, I'm just the greatest messenger. No, that's not what I'm saying. But you're so open to hearing, the stories and the message about the ego. Not everybody is, my dear. I'm telling you, I'm surrounded by people all the time, and you are one of the few percent that has the ability to grow.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead.
No, it's just, I mean, the only thing is with that, I think you, well, at least for myself, I kind of harbor it inside because, you just, whether they're dealing with you directly or other people on the other outside just kind of blowing off their own, I don't know, piss and vinegar to other people or whatever, it just, you absorb all that energy and it kind of wears on you after a while.
Okay.
You kind of want to tell them to
so
piss
now
off.
I know what you're talking to. Okay, so you're saying that it's draining to you?
It is. I mean, in both aspects, yeah.
Okay. So, can I say that you're more of a spongy kind of energy personality as opposed to a Teflon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. So how do we get to be Teflon? Because that's the real question, right?
I don't know, and I don't want to be a bitch either, but because that's not the answer.
Being a bitch is actually another programmed word, and there's let me throw this out. I have a question for you. Do you think words are powerful?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So what I'm hearing from you is all it is a relearning of what you learned. And let me not relearning. There is an unlearning. There needs to be an unlearning of what you've learned. Because that is a program that words are powerful. Because I'm here to tell you, and no, not a lot of people agree with me, but I'm here to tell you that words are not powerful. But we were definitely programmed to believe that they are. Can I give you a quick story to prove that I'm right? Prove that I'm right.
Okay.
And I say that tongue in cheek because you can still not believe me. It's okay. But I was giving a talk about a year ago, and the importance of happiness. And it was in the evening. It was December, so it was in the evening around 6 o'clock. So it was dark, and maybe there were about 20 people there. Not a lot of people. And this one woman brought her toddler with her. Little girl was still in diapers, but she was able to walk. And I'm thinking, why would somebody bring a child to a talk? And the child was sitting on her lap, and then she let the little girl down, and the little girl was running up and down the aisles and really causing a disruption. And I'm saying that, with a smile. And it was the perfect example. It was the perfect time for me to share this lesson, because I picked the little girl up, and I said, "You are an ugly baby." I said, "You're a loser." Yeah. Hold on. Stay with me, Linda. Stay with me. Stay with me, please. I said, "You are a loser. I said, you're going to be a failure in everything you do. Your parents are losers also. And Linda, you should have seen her mother. Her mother was in the front row with her mouth hanging open saying, just like, what the hell are you saying? And everybody in the audience was looking at me like, wow, how cruel. I was insulting this baby from her dress to how she looked to what her future was going to look like. And when I put that little girl down, you know what she did?
No.
She kept playing. She was not affected by any of those words that I used, not in the least. Mm-hmm. Now, everybody else was, because they learned, they were programmed to believe that my words could hurt, my words were powerful, my words were insulting, but not that baby. Mm-hmm. So, see, we were taught that words are powerful, and it's up to the individual, each individual, to unlearn that if they want to, if they want to feel, more at peace or more happier. Because, my dear, no one can say anything to me that can insult me and or compliment me. Words have no power. Can you imagine if everybody relearned that or unlearned, and words would not be able would be able to hurt? Who's more powerful? Somebody that can be offended, or somebody that can't be offended by words?
Can't. Yeah.
Exactly.
They can't be offended. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's really an unlearning of words are not powerful, and that's another practice. Getting chills. That's another practice. I don't know if you've listened to the show about a month ago, but my neighbor, I just moved into this area, and anyway, neighbor came over and his dogs were, it was just the whole thing. Animal control were out, and then this neighbor came over to rang my doorbell and started yelling at me and called me, "You're a bitch, you're crazy," all these words. And what I knew, number one, is everything that this person said was really meant for them, for their ears. They were really talking about themselves. So it's not personal. Yeah. And so know that these words have no power unless you give them power.
Right. Okay. I'll have to look at it in a different light.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's really a powerful, like you said, a different perspective.
And I really can see it being a power trip for them more than me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And another thing I want to say, because you use that spongy thing and versus Teflon, know that whatever comes out, whatever anybody says or does, it's never personal. I don't care if they call you by your name. It's never personal. This universe is not a personal, it's not a personal place. Everything that happens in the universe is impersonal.
Okay.
And taking anything personally, I don't care if it's your twin sister, taking anything personally is actually, the ego. I'm going to take that personally. No, it's not.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah. So now, I think back to doing my business that I want to do. I mean, I'm not even sure where to go with it.
No, go ahead.
I kind of like the idea of just being in the, I don't know, I guess the positive, or being in the, not the, rounded up in the drama of everything. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I like being at peace with everything,
And so my question and or statement is, you can be You can be at peace regardless of what happens in the world or what happens to you. You really can.
Okay.
And listen, I'm not up here thinking I can do this myself. I just say, hey, universe. You ask the universe, hey, how can I feel more peaceful? How can I navigate through this life with more peace? You just ask them every single day. How can I not take anything more? How can I not take these words personally? How can I unlearn the words are powerful? How can just ask those questions of the universe, and I'm telling you, you will always get an answer. You know that.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm just going to have to try to practice a little differently here.
But see, that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. What are you going to be practicing differently?
Well, just trying to not think that what they're saying is personal to me. It's really them that, just they have their own. It's really for their ears more than anything.
That's right.
So, and I guess deep down I know that, but again, it's just I have to. At that point, I was like, oh, okay, it's really, I take it in, I absorb it in.
And it's that ego taking it in too. It's part of the ego, because the ego doesn't want you to feel satisfied, or the mind doesn't want you to feel satisfied. Let me just tell you a really quick story. I used to live in California, and there's so much road rage. Oh my gosh, people drive and cut you off, and I mean, somebody would cut me off in traffic, and I'm yelling and flipping them the bird and all. I mean, this is years ago, flipping them the bird, and finally, I got to a point where, I want to feel more peaceful. I want to feel happy. How do I get over that? And I came up with these people that would cut me off in traffic or flying or speeding. How do I know that they just didn't get a phone call from somebody and their loved one is in the hospital, right? And they're rushing, and so we never know why these people are behaving. Right. And I say these people are behaving, but if they're behaving or reacting with anger or any kind of drama, you know that they are the opposite of content inside.
Right. Yeah, I see that.
And if you know that, you can let anything go.
Yeah, I can look at it a different way too. Exactly. So, all right. Well, I'll just try to remember to practice that a little bit more when I'm at work.
And that's all it is. And then ask the universe to help you practice it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so
call me anytime.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime.
It was nice listening
anytime.
to you. It was nice listening to you on there, and like I said, it kind of maybe when after I was done listening, I'm like, oh shoot, I have no questions.
Now see that now gives me chills. It gives me chills because listen, we're all in this. We've all experienced the same things, and I know these spongy people. And listen, I love my spongy people, and spongy people have a little tougher time because they are a little bit more spongy, but that's okay. We can deal with that too. We can do that. We just, like you said, practice something a little bit differently. So you write out. Right. It's never personal. It's never personal. Words are not powerful, and you're more powerful than you even realize. I can feel that. I can feel that instantly.
I probably am. I just, like I said, things just kind of get in the way, and from time to time, and I just gotta see that, So, but I appreciate it very much, and I hope you have a good rest of the weekend.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Right,
and thank you for calling, and call anytime. I really appreciate you. Thank you for calling. Thank you for listening.
Right. Thank you, sweetheart. You take care.
Okay, you too.
All
right, everyone.
Bye-bye.
I have a few bye-bye. I have a few people still in the queue, and if you want to speak with me, just press the number 1. If not, you can just listen. It's okay. Back to this whole who's in charge and who's more powerful. And I still say that when I finally really got it, when it finally clicked in, that I'm living in a place surrounded by trees. Any other person would say, "Oh, this is paradise." And I can still, no, not I, my ego can still find things to criticize and still find things to find something wrong. I know it's the ego. And so, again, the practice is make that ego wait. Oh, and have a conversation. I talk to my ego all the time. Oh, is this the best you can do? Oh, really? It sounds like I'm egging it on, but listen, if I claim to be happiness specialist, I better, I got to pass a lot of tests. And I like it. I like growing. I like being different. I like being different and more conscious than I was last week. I like it. It fuels me. So back to making the ego wait, back to knowing I know who you are, ego. I'm not mad at you, but I know who you are, and there's no way I'm going to allow a 5-year-old with a little temper tantrum to dictate and drive, be in charge of my journey. So that's the show in a nutshell. I'm wondering if this call is this RS on the call? I don't know. I don't know if I remember the number. Hold on. Is this Robert? Area code 919, you're live. Hello?
Yes, it is, RLN. How you been?
Hi, Robert.
You enjoying your new digs, I hear, huh?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm enjoying, and then it's a challenge, though. It's a challenge. Let me tell you. It's more than a notion.
Well, if anybody can do it, you can do it.
Listen, you know what the universe is forcing me to do, Robert? Listen to this. You know what the universe is forcing me to do? It's the worst. It's the worst.
Okay. What is it?
And I know I think I remember you don't like that word challenge, but anyway, for me listen. They are, and I say they are. You know how I talk about the universe, those jerks. They are forcing me to be okay, to feel peaceful, to be okay, with nothing to do.
Oh no! But wait a minute. I remember though. You were okay with that though.
Yeah, I was okay with that in California, but I really don't have anything. But I really don't have anything to do here.
Wow. Well,
I
think
I wasn't retired when I was in California.
Right. So
I still had a job. I still had classes that I was teaching. You know, I still had an active schedule.
Well, I'm glad it's taking you to a new level.
Thanks.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to be said for silence and nature. You've got a whole you've got a whole different world up there, and that's good.
You're so good. You're so good. I haven't stopped smiling ever since I realized it was you. Haven't stopped smiling.
That's sweet.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
and you know, because you take your nature walks every day, don't you?
Yes, ma'am. Yep. We're buds. We're best buds. Yep.
Wow.
But it's just. I mean, it's there's just so much that can be gained from that interaction.
Listen, you're talking to a girl that was, I thought I was lazy in California. I mean, with no schedule. Now, I have one class that I teach, nothing to do. Well, I do have something to do. I don't know if you followed the attack of the birds story. I don't know if you followed it,
no,
but the windows here are being attacked by birds.
Oh, okay.
And so what it is, it's springtime. Maybe you
right.
have a solution for me. So it's springtime, and so the robins are mating, and I have a lot of windows. There's tons of windows here,
right.
And I've had birds flew into the windows, and they hurt themselves, but then they flew away. But these birds are flying to the windows on purpose. And I Googled, why do birds repeatedly attack windows? And it's supposedly it's the mating season, and they're looking and they're seeing their reflection in the window, and so
right.
they keep attacking the windows.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
yeah. The only thing is to make I know I had a friend who used to just had that problem, and she would. Like hang things in front of the window to make it less. I mean, so it looked like that there was something there, less reflective, I guess would be the word.
Mm-hmm.
So that they wouldn't. Anyway, or put something in there, in that area that like a mobile or something that moves. Then they're going to be less likely to go that way, because there's more avoidance. But anyway, so yeah, you didn't really want to do your tippy hedron. The birds have them come in and attack you.
I remember that movie. Well, I did. If you go on my Facebook, I did three videos, three really short video. Well, one of them's a longer video, but this last video that I just did this morning, so I taped a black fabric over one of the back windows, and now they're banging on the side window. So after I get off the radio, I'm going to go to the side window and cover that with a little black fabric. And it's listen, between me and those birds, I got to win. Damn it, goddamn birds.
No, they're just doing their instinct.
Come on, you know me. Come on. So what are you doing? What are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. As far as the radio show, putting the final.
Tell people about your radio show.
It's bringing inspiration to Earth, Bite Radio, and right there on Blog Talk Like You. And and then I'm finishing up my caregiver book, which will probably be out in a couple months. So, and that's a bunch of stories from caregivers and things that they've learned, just that kind of thing, and also helping someone else self-publish. So, yeah.
Wow. Now, did you find a publisher, or are you self-publishing?
No, I'll self-publish. Like I did my other ones.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's one of those things where, the whole publisher versus self-publish. I just I prefer not to have to go through publishers and have them try and tell me what to say. I want to say what I want to say.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're talking about. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and, you know, and again, you know, I've had so many authors on my show who have had publishers who have, you know, failed to live up to their contracts and have had issues. The authors have had issues in getting the marketing and the promotion that publishers, you know, promise. And so, you know, my thing is, you know, get the word out there, and for those who are meant to hear it, we'll hear it. Those who are meant to read it, we'll read it.
I love that. I love it. And you're right. You're absolutely right. I'm going to follow that same thing. Yeah. How's Roy, right? It's Roy?
Roy, yeah, he's doing good. He's still doing his traveling, doing reading. He hasn't been on my show in a long, long time. I don't know what that's. No, he just hasn't really done a whole lot of radio shows. But I get him every now and then, you know, to do shows. So, but he's doing real well, and we're gonna actually be on a show together on a friend's radio show next month. So she kind of convinced us both. So that'll be
wow. Well, you know, shoot me a message and let me know exactly when it is, and I'll listen.
Okay, I sure will. Yeah.
Yeah, and give him you know, my regards and hugs and kisses, and you just made my whole day. I really. Yeah, I like I said, I think I remember that number, but I wasn't sure, and I
know, yeah, and
because the memory's going, you know, baby, the memory's going.
Oh boy, do I know that? Yeah, you know, and it's for your show, I've had to listen in archives because, you know, for some reason, you know, on Sundays it's just like, oh man, I get the reminder because I follow your show, so I get the reminder. It's like, oh, the show's coming on, you know, and it's like, okay, you know, and then it's like, oh. I'm usually involved with something, you know, so I haven't been able to tune in live like I like to, but I do when I can.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. You know me. Come on. Easy breezy. Easy breezy.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
Wow. So it's so good. I'm just, it's like it's Christmas today.
Oh, you sweet talker, you. You've always been a sweet talker. That happiness is you spread out around.
Oh, thank you, Robert. Thank you so much. Oof, Lord. Yeah, it's it is. Anytime you're in the southern part of Oregon, I'm not giving the town out live, but anytime you are welcome. You didn't visit me in California, but you would.
I know
you're welcome to visit anytime here.
I know. Well, we still have some Jell-O to do, so.
That's what. Yes, and you've never done that.
Not with you. No, remember we were going to do that if I ever got to California on time. So.
All right. Okay.
But anyway, so yep. Well, I have a memory for some things. So anyway.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure chatting with you. Golly, what a great surprise. Thank you.
Well, likewise. It is my pleasure. I always enjoy speaking with you. You make me smile too. So you know that's a good thing. If we can make each other smile, that's something is right with that.
Yeah, you're giving me chills again. Now if I stay on the phone too long, I might start crying happy tears. But I'm just feeling all full.
Great. Well, listen, I'll try and listen, you know, regularly more and
just let me know when you're on that show, and anytime you want me on your show, I'm available again. You know me.
All righty, absolutely, and I will shoot you out a little message, and I'm going to go on to Facebook once I get back to the house and check out your video on Facebook. So
yeah, check out those last 3 videos. The first one. It's all about the birds. It's called When Birds Attack.
Okay.
And the first one is about 4 minutes, and then there's 3 of them. The first one, the second, and the third, you know, the whole story. So, but now I got to get out there and do another fabric on the back window. Anyway, I don't know. I think it's funny.
It is. It's, you know, I mean, but those are the things that you didn't really encounter in California, you know, but so.
Didn't encounter birds, didn't encounter wild turkeys. I have deer here. And I told the universe, I said, you know, during the summer, if I see one snake, I'm moving.
Oh boy, they're going to be there. So, but anyway.
I'm scared. I'm a city girl. I'm scared.
Well, just get to know which ones are, you know, helpful snakes and those that aren't. So, but, I'm sure people around there will be able to give you a little bit of insight into that.
Yeah, that's true. If I talk to people, but you know.
You not talk to people? I can't imagine that. I can't imagine. I would think the whole town would
Robert,
know you by
it's really
now.
good talking to you. I'm gonna close the show right now. I had no idea. This is so much fun. Thank you so much for calling. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. And that's Robert Sharp, and find him on Blog Talk Radio too. He has his own show. You can just search on Blog Talk Radio. It's Bite Me. Whatever he said earlier. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. And again, let's just a reminder of the ego. You know, listen, the ego is anti what is. Anti what is. Always want something different. Always want something improved. Always want something changed. No ego. Sorry. You take a back seat. So you've been listening to Reality Spirituality, heard every Sunday whenever I'm inspired. Usually it's around 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. My website is RebeccaNorrington.com. Follow me on Twitter at RLNorrington. My Instagram handle is Reality Spirituality. I have a YouTube channel. You can you can just search Rebecca Norrington. It's, working on it. And my book, Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness, is on Amazon. And also, if you want a hard copy, is on Lulu, LULU.com. My second book, which as you heard already, it's in progress, called Programmed for Unhappiness. Programmed for Unhappiness. Programmed that words are powerful. No, words are not powerful, people. They're not powerful. And again, who's more powerful? The person that can be offended, the person that is affected by words, or the person that isn't. It's really about a practice. Until next time, my dear audience, I want you to remember who you are. You are a physical extension of the universe. You're always evolving. You're always changing. You're always growing. Love is patient, and love is kind. Be patient, and be kind to yourself. Be your own best friend. Remember, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. It is about the journey. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality. I'm Rebecca Norrington. Talk to you next week.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one now. Spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Spirituality. Oh, now we getting real.